Every single football fan out there will tell you probably a similar thing, that the Champions League is one of their favorite competitions. Why so, and why particularly for me it is? Well, because it seems that the football gods are writing and deciding which two teams are gonna be facing off against each other. Because in this iteration of the UCL, we have Barcelona facing off against Bayern Munich again. Not only are we taking a look here at a Bayern Munich side, which is one of the best teams in Europe right now, facing off against a Barcelona that is severely weakened. No Lionel Messi, no Antoine Griezmann, and no real keystone pillar to what this team actually wants to perform on the field. Ronald Koeman has to answer us a lot of questions, and today I'm gonna be doing some of that as well. I'm gonna be bringing you guys a video where we take a look at Bayern Munich, probably one of the most deadliest teams that you can face off in Europe, and we're gonna be teaching you exactly how to beat them. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. And on this episode of Unfiltered, we're going to be taking a look at exactly what Barcelona can do to frustrate Bayern Munich, and most importantly, what you can do to be able to beat and complete this impossible task that on paper seems like such a difficult ask. Bayern Munich, in the last 3 games, they have managed to score 21 goals across all competitions, and that is an absolutely deadly record. When you take a look at this goal-scoring machine, how can you stop them? What is the thing that Barcelona can do to be able to surpass them, or at least be able to be within a shout of winning this game? Well, the key is not focusing on what can they do wrong, on how can you hurt them. Basically, it's more of how can you stop them from doing the things that they are good at. The key for me in this game has to come with the word frustration. And seeing the latest game between Bayern Munich and Leipzig that they faced off in the Bundesliga, where Bayern Munich managed to score 4 past BugaLuis, I have to admit that there were some certain things that Barcelona can take away from it. But you may be asking yourself, Buga, how in the world are you going to be analyzing a game where Bayern Munich literally destroyed probably their biggest opposition in the league 4-1? How can you take that as a positive? Well, because if you take a look at the stats, if you take a look at what actually the game was, and if you actually saw the game, you're probably going to be agreeing with me in saying that Leipzig were in fact the most dominant team. Domination in football is a word, is a term that is mostly misassociated. People are going to be saying that when you're dominating a game, you are clearly the one in favor or the one with the most possibilities to win. But the thing about Bayern Munich and what they do very well is that they do not need the ball. They do not need many scoring chances or many scoring opportunities, because whenever they get in front of net, you know that that ball is going to the back of it. Before we move further into this analysis, you need to know exactly what we're going to be working with, and this is the following. I think we're going to be seeing this potential lineup from Nagelsmann in the game against Barcelona. Neuer, Pavard, Upamecano, Lucas Hernandez, and Alphonso Davies are going to be forming the defense. Then I think we're going to be seeing a double pivot of Kimmich and Goretzka behind a front 4 that includes Robert Lewandowski, Thomas Müller, Leroy Sané, and Kingsley Coman. When you take a look at this Bayern 11 and compare it to the one that they put out against Leipzig, you can see that it's very simple to understand, very clear-cut what they're gonna be doing. You have one very good passer of the ball in Kimmich. He performed 10 crosses throughout the game and also 10 long balls. These all long balls fell into the wingers, which their flanks are very good occupied. You find yourself with 2 basically overlapping fullbacks in Alphonso Davies and Benjamin Pavard, with other 2 players in front of them in Leroy Sané and Serge Gnabry, which can exploit their pace. Maybe in this game against Barcelona, we're gonna be seeing Coman, and that's even more deadly, and that's even bigger of a sign they're gonna be trying to exploit the through balls into space. Now, take it into account, guys, the word that I taught you before, the key to beating Bayern Munich, frustration. How can someone take this into account and be able to nullify those long balls from Kimmich to the wings or the overlapping fullbacks? Well, basically, you're going to be needing to have to retain possession. And also another thing is that you're going to be able to have to win the aerial duels. Playing through the middle is another strategy that, for instance, Leipzig tried against Bayern Munich. You saw how Dominic Szoboszlai, Dani Olmo, and Nkunku all were behind Andre Silva. You take a look at 3 number 10s that all in all are very good intricate players with the ball that are able to associate themselves very good and carry out ground and manage to retain possession for very long stretches of play. But the thing that they were lacking was a very good finisher. Andre Silva didn't have the best of games, and in fact he missed many focus opportunities. This is something that, on the other hand, for instance, Robert Lewandowski didn't do. Lewandowski is a complete goal-scoring machine. And that is something that a team like Barcelona are going to be having to be very careful of here in this next game. So you need to be able to finish the chances that you get, because Leipzig in fact did create a lot of them. And most importantly, Leipzig were able to dispossess a lot of the defenders from Bayern Munich. They were recovering the ball very high up, with the most ball dispossesses actually being made by a player in Leon Goretzka, the main midfielder that is able to kind of run and cover up the spaces. He was losing the most balls. Well, in fact, his, let's say, pedigree isn't with the ball at his feet. But still, that is something that, for instance, Barcelona could try and harass, but they will need players that are going to be able to retain the ball a lot. So what could potentially Ronald Koeman and Barcelona do to be able to stand this? Well, play with more midfielders. When we take a look at the lineup that I think that Barcelona can come out with, it makes pretty good sense as to how they will be trying to frustrate Bayern Munich. You take a look here at a lineup that I come up with of Ter Stegen, Oscar Mingueza for the right, Gerard Piqué, Ronald Araujo, Jordi Alba, then in the midfield Sergio Busquets, Frankie de Jong, Pedri and Coutinho, with Memphis Depay and Luke de Jong at the top at the helm of the striking duo. By keeping the ball and inviting the other opposition in Bayern Munich, you're going to be able to open up spaces. That is something that still Bayern Munich saw as a very big deficiency since the day of Hansi Flick and when they beat Barcelona in that A2 game. The 2 goals from Barcelona came from exactly that. Good spells in possession so that then other center backs like Jerome Boateng and David Alaba at the time had to push further forward. And when you take a look at the players that they have right now in Upamecano and Lucas Hernandez, I think that, for instance, these 2 players are mostly very similar. They're 2 players that likes to drive with the ball. They like to go further forward into the midfield and be able to circulate the ball from there. So if Barcelona can exploit that space into behind, it will be very useful, but you will need these midfielders. You will need particularly Pedri, Frankie de Jong, and especially Philippe Coutinho. By packing the middle of the park with 4 players, you're gonna be seeing the play to be very narrow, and that's okay. That's a very good strategy that could come in handy for a team trying to beat Bayern Munich. Because if you want to retain the ball, why even care about the wings? You don't need to stretch out your defense, you don't need to stretch out your midfield to make it easier for them to go through the middle. That's how you have players like Goretzka, Müller running into the box. If you're able to cover up that space and simply leave Leroy Sané, Gnabry, Coman, whoever they have at the wings isolated, that'll be a very useful tool because they won't even participate in play. But another big key here that I want to take is that when you take a look at the game from Leipzig, Bayern Munich were not the best team in trying to win the second ball. They were also very weak when it came to winning these aerial duels. Physically, they're a monster. They're going to be eating you. They're going to be trying to go up and pressure you like a herd of hungry leopards trying to eat their prey. But the other thing is that if you have a player that is able to pivot, a player that is able to attract that sort of attention, and then just circulate the ball to an extra outlet, actually act like a bait, that will be very useful. And Barcelona now has that tool in their arsenal, and that guy is called Luke de Jong. Leipzig won 15 aerial duels against Bayern Munich in that game. They managed to circulate the ball with very good efficiency, and most of their play actually relied from Andre Silva trying to bring the ball down, pivot in, found the box, and then find Dani Olmo, Dominic Szoboszlai trying to overlap for his flanks. If Barcelona are able to do that with Luke de Jong and find themselves Memphis or someone like Coutinho, which in my opinion are better finishers than the number 10s that, for instance, Leipzig possessed during that game, I think that Barcelona could be able to nick a goal here or two. But overall, the key in trying to beat a big team is that you have nothing to lose. Barcelona are coming here with an undercard status. They're basically underdogs. And that is something that will come in handy for them because teams are going to be thinking it's easy to come here and try to win this game. They're going to be treating Barcelona like a lesser team, and I would do the very same thing. A very big detriment from Barcelona losing Lionel Messi is that their status overall in European football is kind of lowering one step. You can see now Barcelona being compared to teams like Inter de Milan. Before they were out there with the top very best, the world-class elite. And they're no longer there. They're one level behind. If you're consistent with your strategy, if you're aiming to frustrate Bayern Munich, if you're baiting them to come into your own half, exploit the spaces, have someone on top of them that can play the long ball and then pivot, like in Luke de Jong, frustrate, make the play narrow and isolate their wingers, you have a very good chance. I think that Barcelona can do it, and we're gonna be able to beat basically the kings of high energy. I think that if there's a possibility to beat Bayern Munich, it is this one. You just have to frustrate them. That's gonna be everything for right now, guys. Hope you have enjoyed. Be sure to tune in here to this channel after the game between Barcelona and Bayern Munich to watch a review, an analysis of this game and probably others as well. Because let's remember that the Champions League is back this week. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna be having like at least 3-4 multiple screens trying to watch all of the games that I can. So see you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao.